There's a specific kind of silence that happens late at night when you're staring at a glowing laptop screen. You're on Amazon. You found the one thing you actually came for. Maybe it's a $22 replacement charger or a book you've been meaning to read. You click Add to Cart, and then you see it, that small, bright progress bar. Add $28 more for free shipping. Suddenly, the mission changes. You weren't looking for anything else a couple of minutes ago, but now you're scrolling through frequently bought together or clicking into the under $10 section. You're hunting. You're searching for anything, a pack of pens, a bag of coffee, a phone case you don't need, just to satisfy that bar. Amazon Prime didn't become a trillion-dollar empire by accident. They did it by weaponizing one single word: free. Free shipping. But the question in my mind, which I finally had to ask myself, and maybe you should too, how many things have I added to my cart, things I didn't even want and probably won't ever use, just to hit that free shipping minimum? How much have I actually spent just to save $5? I'm John, and I decode the hidden psychology behind everyday prices. We like to think of ourselves as rational. We think we're winning when we get something for nothing. But in the world of psychological pricing, free is rarely a gift. It's a vacuum. It's designed to pull you in so quickly that your critical thinking can't keep up. By the end of this video, you're going to have a simple mental switch to flip. The next time you see that word free flashing at you from a screen or a storefront, you won't just feel the magnetic pull of it, you'll see the invisible string attached to it. You'll know exactly how to look at the offer, weigh the hidden costs, and decide for yourself if it's actually worth tugging on. To really understand why this works, we have to look at what free actually does to our internal math. Most people think of free as just a price of zero. We see it as the end of a scale: $5, $1, $0. But psychologically, there's a massive invisible chasm between 1 cent and zero. In my view, free doesn't actually cost money. It charges what I call a cognitive tax. Think of it like this. Your brain is usually a pretty decent gatekeeper. When you see a price tag, any price tag, your brain stays on the clock. It's active. It weighs the value, looks at the budget, and asks, is this worth the trade? It's a moment of friction that keeps you in control. But the second your brain sees that word free, the gatekeeper decides to go on a coffee break. It simply stops working. It's as if the math part of your mind shuts down because it thinks there's no math left to do. In that moment of excitement, you let your emotions sign the paperwork. You feel like you're getting a gift, but the real price you're paying isn't dollars, it's your guard is down. And that is exactly when overspending slips through the door unnoticed. You aren't paying with your wallet yet, you're paying with your attention and your logic. Psychologists have a name for this specific mental glitch. They call it the zero price effect. Now, in a normal world, as prices go down, demand goes up in a steady, predictable line. If a chocolate bar goes from $2 down to $1, a few more people might grab one. It's a logical increase. But the moment that price hits zero, the line doesn't just go up, it teleports. It breaks the graph. This happens because of a deep-seated human instinct: loss aversion. We are biologically wired to be more afraid of losing something than we are excited about gaining something. When we buy a product, even if it only costs a single penny, there's a tiny bit of risk involved. You think, what if I don't like it? What if it's a waste of my penny? That's a potential loss, and your brain stays alert to protect you from it. But when something is free, our brain perceives it as having zero risk. We tell ourselves we have nothing to lose. But because we stop seeing the risk, we also stop seeing the trade-offs. We don't see the extra items we're adding to the cart or the subscription we'll forget to cancel. We trade our long-term logic for a short-term hit of dopamine, convinced we've cheated the system, when in reality, the system is working exactly as it was designed. I want to show you exactly where I catch myself in this loop, because once you see it in one place, you start seeing it everywhere. For me, it's that free shipping on orders over $35 banner. I have my one item in the cart, it's $20, I'm $15 away from winning. In that moment, my goal completely shifts. I'm no longer shopping for a product I need, I am shopping for the shipping. My mouse instinctively hovers over that home page tab. You know the one, labeled under $10 or best sellers. I start scrolling. I look at a pack of AA batteries. Do I need batteries? I think I have some, but hey, these make the shipping free. I look at a silicone spatula. Mine is fine, but this one is blue. This is the trap. You've stopped being a consumer and started becoming a professional puzzle solver for the store. They've given you a goal, and your brain, ever the achiever, wants to complete the set. You end up spending $42 to avoid paying $6 in shipping. You saved $6 by spending an extra $22. And it's not just Amazon. Think about the buy two, get one free deals at the clothing store. You only wanted one t-shirt, but the sign says if you buy another, the third is a gift. Suddenly, you're standing in the aisle doing mental gymnastics trying to find two more shirts you actually like just so you don't lose out on the free one. We see it in free trials that require a credit card. We see it in free samples at the grocery store that make us feel a strange, silent debt to the person holding the tray. In every one of these scenarios, the free item isn't the product. It's the bait. It's the hook that pulls us into a larger transaction we never intended to start. We aren't finding deals, we're completing a puzzle the store designed specifically for us to solve. If free is the bait that shuts your brain down, you need a mechanism to jumpstart it. You need a shield. Your shield is a simple mental ritual I call the trade audit. The next time you're hovering over that add to cart button or standing in an aisle reaching for a free sample, I want you to pause. Don't just think it, ask it out loud. What are they trading me for? Because here is the truth of the marketplace. Nothing is truly free. There is always a trade happening. It's just that one side of the ledger is often hidden. By naming the trade out loud, you turn the spotlight back on. If it's free shipping, they aren't giving you a gift. They are trading $5 of shipping cost for a $20 increase in your total order. If it's a free sample, they are trading a bite of food for your sense of obligation and a chance to get you into their ecosystem. If it's a free app, they are trading the service for your data and your future attention. Just by identifying the trade, you break the zero price effect. You move from a passive recipient of a gift to an active negotiator. Suddenly, you aren't just accepting something, you're deciding if the trade is fair. Is 15 minutes of your time and $20 extra really worth that free $5 shipping? Sometimes it is, but for the first time, you'll be the one making the call. Now, I know some of you watching this aren't just consumers, you're founders, creators, or small business owners, and you might be asking, is it wrong to use the power of free to grow my business? The answer is no, but only if you use it as a bridge, not a trap. Think of it as the difference between a handshake and a lure. When used ethically, free is a way to lower the barrier for someone to experience the value you provide. It's a transparent toolkit. Maybe you offer a free consultation because you know that once someone talks to you, they'll trust your expertise. Or maybe you offer a free trial because you genuinely believe your product will solve their problem. In these cases, you're not hiding the trade, you're highlighting it. You're saying, I'll give you this value up front so you can decide if you want to invest more later. That is how you build a long-term relationship based on trust rather than a short-term transaction based on a psychological glitch. It's about using free to start a conversation, making sure the customer feels like they gained something even if they never spend a dime. But there is a very clear line where smart marketing ends and manipulation begins. In my view, it's clever to use free to start a conversation. It's just slimy to use it to hide one. If you have to bury the true cost in 40 pages of fine print, or if you make it an agonizing multi-step marathon to cancel that free subscription, you aren't being a savvy business person. You're banking on human forgetfulness and cognitive fatigue. That's not marketing, that's rent-seeking. The moment you start relying on the customer's confusion to make a profit, you've lost the plot. A smart business doesn't need to trick people into staying, it creates so much value that they don't want to leave. Mastering the word free isn't about being stingy. It's about reclaiming your attention and your intention. It's about ensuring your values are driving your spending, not a psychological trigger. But what happens when a price does have your attention and you still make a decision you regret? That's often because of rushed judgment. In our very next video, I'm giving you the simplest, most powerful tool in this entire series, the 24-hour rule. It is your single best defense against the impulse buys we talked about today. And before you go, I want to hear from you in the comments. What's the most surprising trade you've ever made? I'll be down there reading. If this helped you see the world a little more clearly today, subscribe. We're just getting started.